Hi, my name's Kim Platzer, and I'm just going to explain to you how I work as a clairvoyant and medium. The way that I work is through using my natural ability as a psychic. Now, the word psychic is a general term which basically means somebody who is able to use their natural five senses in a way that goes beyond the physical. So for me, that's using it through sight, which is clairvoyance. And sight basically means that I'm able to receive impressions from a person or a particular location about the past, the present, and the future. Now, those psychic impressions can be received by allowing the energy of, say, the person to be impressed into my mind's eye, so my third eye. And it's a little bit like a video or still shots of photography that's placed into my third eye. So I may see things such as that particular person, how they used to look, what situations they've gone through that's led them to seeing me at that moment. I can also use my clairvoyant ability by asking for a particular scenario to be presented to me. So for instance, a lot of people want to know what their future holds. So I may look at a particular subject such as love or work, and I'll ask to be shown what's coming up for that person in the immediate future or in the next few months. And I will be given images of perhaps people that they're going to meet or significant points that are coming up in their life that are going to allow them to achieve their goal. So that's through sight. Now, I also work as a medium, and as many people are familiar with mediums in terms of being able to connect to somebody's loved one who's passed away. And that is what we do. We connect to spirit. But it's not only people who have passed away, it's also spirits who act as guides or teachers for us in this life. And that may even consist of angelic beings, as well as people who have lived on this earth many years ago and have chosen to become a guide. So what I do is, again, I ask my spirit guides to help me with a particular person and what that individual may actually need. I may also ask if there is anybody in spirit who wants to come through to pass on a message to that person. And that is when I will often receive friends or relatives who have passed away, maybe a parent, a sibling, a child. And I will ask for specific information that is relevant and only known by that person. So it's what many spiritualists will refer to as proof of survival. And that may even be information such as how that person actually passed away, what their health conditions were, what was going on at the time that they passed away or just before. So it's information that would be relevant and, as I said, only pertain to you. You would be the only one that would really know this information. It's not general, it's specific. Likewise, with my clairvoyant ability, I will also ask for something specific that only you will understand or have relevance for. So it may be anything specifically relating to, again, the subjects of work, moving house, love. It could be a name that comes to me to be passed on. It's something, again, that is offering you proof of clairvoyance, proof that this is a message for you personally. So that is how I receive information or pass on information. Now, as I mentioned, I also work with spirit guides, and I have two that I work with quite a lot. One is a medium and the other one is a clairvoyant guide, and they assist me with information for my client. They may also assist a client's loved one to come through. So my medium guide will act as a gatekeeper, allowing a particular spirit to come through and being mindful of how close that they impress themselves onto me. So again, it may be somebody who has gone through a lot of pain or suffering in their life, and they still bring that feeling of pain and suffering through with them so that you identify who it is. So I, as a medium, may pick up on that pain as being physical pain. Now my medium guide will help that spirit to then back away or take a step back, so I'm not sitting there in that pain or that trauma for an entire hour or half hour. So that's what my medium guide will do. He will also help that spirit if they're not too sure on how to communicate. He will help them to communicate or provide the right platform for them to do that. So there's a lot that goes on when somebody is having a reading that you're not aware of. There's a lot of things happening in spirit or the psychic realms that people aren't aware of. Now I'm also able to see energy, meaning that sometimes I will have a spirit appear in front of me through my physical eyes, or I will see it in my mind's eye. And likewise with a client, I'm able to see their energy or their aura. And within that aura, I'm able to see what they are really feeling. So for a lot of people, we will tend to smile when we don't feel like smiling. By looking at someone's energy, you can see what's going on emotionally for them at that time, and even to see how far back those emotions go. Is it something hooked into the past that they're not able to overcome? So by seeing that and connecting to my guides and spirit, I'm able to receive the right guidance to help that person move on, or to see what it is that they're still trying to learn from that experience, and look at perhaps the patterning that comes up around that in their present situation. Now for me personally, this is an ability I have. I don't necessarily see it as a gift, because it's something that I was born with and didn't understand. And then later on I learnt to develop it by sitting in many spiritualist circles, development circles, where I learnt to work with it and to understand it. So for me, that training has been ongoing over many years. And people do ask me, do I use any tools such as tarot cards or birth dates, numerology? And the answer is no, I don't. Because for me personally, I find my connection to spirit to be very special and very strong. And for me to then work with a tool only distracts me. I am easily distracted. So if I have a deck of cards in front of me, my logical mind will step in trying to analyze what the card meaning is or the number meaning, rather than focusing on my connection and listening to that message. So I have a lot of faith and trust in my team of guides, and also with what spirit will provide to me. And sometimes it can be difficult to pass on certain messages or information. So again, I ask for a way to do that will be given with the most love and the most warmth, so I don't judge. I never judge anybody. We all go through many experiences, whatever society may deem them as. I'm not your judge and jury. I'm merely a conduit for giving you information. But the information will relate to you. So I don't necessarily like tuning into everybody else around you unless it's affecting you and a particular situation that you may be in. So it's not how I work. I'm not a sticky beak with other people. This is about you. I also receive impressions often with my other senses. So I've spoken about receiving messages through hearing, through audience, clairaudience. I can do that, which again is audibly, as if someone was just speaking to me in a room, or internally, where I hear voices in my mind. And yes, they can be male, female, different tones. It's not always the same voice. I also can smell. So sometimes I may smell perfume, flowers when there's no flowers around, cologne, smoke, cigarette smoke, even food. Again, it just relates to the presence that is there at the time and what they're trying to communicate. So if you had a mother or grandmother that was always baking pies, that smell of pie may really come through, and the smell of pastry. And again, that can be your sign that, oh, I know who that is. So that's another way of communicating. The most common way for a lot of us is also through sensitivity or empathically. And what that means is being able to pick up on a feeling or being impressed with information. So it may be a feeling of, it could be pain, it could even be happiness or love, feeling. So that you receive information, perhaps again relating to someone's health, someone who has a stomach pain. So I receive information that way as well. And the way I work would be to look at that stomach pain, to feel it, and ask to be shown what is this actually relating to. If it's health, where is it in the body? Is it the bowel? Is it the stomach? And I ask for that extra information, which is how I work, so that you get an overall picture. And then, of course, what should that person do about this? Is it stress related? Is it physical? Do they need to see a doctor? So there's a lot of ways that we do work. But the main one for me is through spirit communication and receiving the psychic impressions. So I hope that's helped you and given you a bit more of an understanding into how psychics actually do work, particularly clairvoyant and mediums. A good clairvoyant medium will offer you some sort of proof or some sort of substantial information that relates to you. It won't necessarily be general. So the next time you do visit a psychic, bear that in mind, but try not to be too hard on them. We are human, and it can be very daunting too with a lot of the information that comes through, because it doesn't mean anything to us. We are the conduit. We are the conduit, and we need to trust to pass on that information as it's received in a way that will also be beneficial. So please bear that in mind as well, and as I said, don't judge too much. But there are plenty of good psychics out there. It's just a matter of using your intuition and who do you feel drawn to. So thank you very much for watching this, and I do hope it's helped you get a bit more of an understanding on how we work.